Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dark Souls 2. No Death, No Bonfire run. This is Take 3 our character. I'm Bearded Narwhal, also known as Ben. This video will be done in post-commentary. I was really focused during this video, and the commentary kind of came out spotty, so I'm gonna try to do a little better after the fact. So we're gonna go by Xiaohua's rings, the cat ring, and then the Ring of Whispers. We're gonna need the Ring of Whispers later. I use the word need loosely because you don't need Scorpion Tark, but he helps out a lot, and I'd rather not die against his wife. So that'd be a lot worse than dying to like one of the Great Lords, which I've already killed 2 of. So
I knew you.
We're going to reinforce a couple weapons here. I can get my mace up to, I believe it's +6. And then I'm going to buy large Titanite chunks from Leningrast's daughter to upgrade my short sword all the way up to +6 as well. I upgraded my Dragon Rider longbow just because it's been serving us well, so might as well make it deal more damage. So here's where we spend, I think, 15,000 souls on 6 large Titanite shards. Yes, I was correct.
Visit me.
And we don't keep wearing the Alone Knight armor just because it's super heavy, and I like my roll speed to be a little better than that, even though in the future of this video we're not exactly running as quickly as possible.
I'll be around.
So, I'm going to use the remainder of my souls to level up a little bit, get some extra vitality, and I believe a little bit of strength. Right here, I'm wondering to myself whether or not I should use my repair powder, because I have a bunch of weapons that are damaged. So I actually put my short sword in the second slot and then use a repair powder so that I can repair both my mace and my short sword. That'll give me a little bit more lifetime with both of them. And then I unequip my mace and equip, I believe I used the Royal Greatsword throughout most of the video. Yeah, there it is. Yep. And then I believe that gave me a slow roll, so I unequip the Alone Knight armor and put on the Royal Swordsman gear. Now, pretty soon I start like wondering if I touched the bonfire without thinking about it, because I've been playing off camera on a character I've been leveling up for PvP, and it's gotten me into the habit of wanting to touch every bonfire I see. So when I logged on this character and like thought about it, I checked my Estus flasks in a few minutes, like, oh please don't tell me I touched a bonfire, because that would certainly ruin this run, and I don't know if I would have restarted yeah, see, there's me checking. I don't know if I would have restarted if I touched a bonfire. It would be disappointing, but I would have finished it no death, at least, and then maybe New Game Plus, no bonfire, and then just deal with it that way, but I'm glad that I didn't. And so we have the cat ring equipped now, and we're going to run after I pop these souls that I had forgotten about previously. We're going to go into the hole, and that's where I lose connection to Steam, which is bad for the sake of random PvP could be really funny on this character, because if I end up winning, it would look really good for me, but it's good because it takes out that danger.
There.
And I checked to see if I can level up again, and I can't. But then I decide I'm just going to use the Great Lord souls that I have, each of which give me 25,000 souls. So I can level up quite a bit after that. Because I'm not going to use the Sinner's Sword, and I'm not even sure what the Old Iron King's soul gives, but I know I wouldn't use it, so it's okay. And I also check to see if I can upgrade my Estus flasks like 3 times throughout this video, and none of those times do I have Estus flask shards. I think about upgrading my strength there, and I decided that I'd rather up my health more, because I've really enjoyed having just like a ridiculous amount of health, because if I make a dumb move, maybe it'll save me. Which it does later in this video, so stay tuned for that. Oh, those statues. I destroy them because I know later in the video I'm going to be super pissed off at them. This is the scariest part of this entire descent to me, because if you miss that, you're just dead. Like, that run over, it's quite the easy jump, but it's harrowing because you don't want to screw it up, especially when you're recording like I would be. Because at this point, I can't not upload these because certain people are watching, and if I just stop recording, they'll just assume I died and then never uploaded, so... And I hate these jumps, but I make that one. And then I was thinking about jumping to the doors of the Grave of Saints, but I wasn't sure if you could jump from the Grave of Saints entrance to that, so I didn't. I just dropped down hoping for the best, and it ended up working out for me even though I didn't necessarily have to do that. And then I realized I was kind of in a sticky spot. So I checked to see what's up this ladder, and I don't have the Forgotten Key yet, so I can't actually use that door, which I believe holds Great Lightning Spear inside of it, as well as a sorcery that I'm not familiar with. Or a hex, I'm not sure. And this was kind of a crazy jump. I didn't really line it up, the wall just kind of carried me over there, and I couldn't believe that I did it. So, I was pretty happy with my jumping skills here, and I was really glad at that point, because I was thinking about buying the Evil Eye Ring from Xiaohua anyway, just because healing off of enemy deaths doesn't sound that... The minimal amount you get from it isn't that great for like a normal run, but for this kind of run, it ends up being able to save you sometimes. But I had forgotten the +1 version of the Evil Eye Ring was down here, so didn't matter. And I was unsure whether or not the exploding hollows were up here or downstairs, so I'm kind of just sneaking around up here for a little while until I realize, oh look, there's the crystal lizard, I'm coming up above them. And I don't know what it is about crystal lizards, but whenever I'm shooting at them, my bow always seems to aim super low, but I end up getting this one. And of course his his drops go down there. And since, I don't know if it's due to the fact that I upgraded my bow, but I can kill them in one hit without a headshot, so that makes this area quite a bit easier. And I don't believe any of these guys explode on me. And this looks silly, but I couldn't remember at what point the game has a iron mimic, which there's only one. But I believe it's at Aldia's Keep. And it was kind of silly of me to get worried here, but I just really didn't want to die. And I noticed I could shoot those guys from up here. So I do. At least most of them. There's another one. And my targeting went really crazy there. I'm used to when you go out of the zoom, it still shoots exactly where your cursor was. But for some reason, during this video, that was not the case at all, and my arrows would always go wildly into just like a random direction. And I was getting impatient here, so I just jumped down in a second, because I was pretty sure he'd come back, but I wasn't entirely sure, and I was just like, well, screw it. And I pick up a Titanite shard, or 2 Titanite shards, a large Titanite shard, and like a dark Titanite shard. Since I've never used a dark weapon, I've never used dark Titanite. but I mean, it's bound to be pretty good if you use it with Resonant Weapon, but on this kind of run, it's kind of worthless. And I think the major downside of this bow, as opposed to using other bows in this kind of run, is the sheer amount of stamina it just takes, and how long the draw speed is on it. Without those two factors, it'd be one of the better bows in the game, I think. I mean, I still think it is one of the better bows in the game, but you might disagree. And if you haven't watched my Ascendant videos yet, which I may or may not have uploaded them yet, but if I haven't, that just means I'm waiting for the next weekend to upload them, because that's my new schedule from now on, is I will be uploading roguelike videos on weekends, and then my Dark Souls 2 No Death No Bonfire runs, I'll upload one a day during the weekdays, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays, once my character is fully leveled up, I plan on uploading PvP videos once on Tuesday and once on Thursday. And I plan to keep that schedule a little bit steady. Makes it easier on me when I know when I should upload things, and I can get ahead and then set everything to upload automatically and publish automatically on YouTube. So that's what I'll be doing in the future once everything's set up pretty nicely, so stay tuned for that. But I don't think I hit the point that I set out to make there. If you haven't watched my Ascendant videos, you haven't heard that I got a new microphone. So if I sound any better, it's due to that. Not due to me enunciating better or anything like that, just my microphone is better. And when I get this, I thought it might be a little more useful, but I'd forgotten there was a Token of Spite in there, so whatever. It's good to know for like a PvP character when you don't want to use a cracked red eye orb before you're ready, and you just go down here to get the Token of Spite and then go back to Huntsman's Copse to join the Brotherhood of Blood. And from now through the rest of the gutter and just like this entire area, I'm really careful, like ultra careful, so bear with me. I'm taking it slow for a reason, because a lot of these things could just like straight up kill me. If these guys, I'm not really afraid of the poison, I'm afraid of these guys hitting me mid-jump and like throwing off my trajectory or something. I don't know if that's possible, but that was my fear. So I don't visit this bonfire because there's no point, and I roll up here and I get one of my favorite items in the game from this enemy. I get the Prisoner's Hood, which is a super light item to wear on the head. It doesn't give much protection, but it's another item drop helmet. So instead of wearing the merchant's hat, I'll just wear this from now on, because I think they look really cool. Basically all of the Prisoner's Hoods look really cool to me. And I got scared for a second because I could barely see that platform down below, and it did not seem like I could get back, and I didn't want to jump to that bonfire, so I just go for it, because I'm not just going to sit here all day, so. And there's the scary part, I almost rolled off the edge. But I made it, we're safe. Calm down. And I hadn't done the gutter in a very long time. In fact, I haven't run this area since my first character on the PS3. This is my furthest character on the PC, so whenever I beat a Great Lord, I always get an achievement. But, so this area was pretty scary to me because I really didn't want to die, simply due to the fact that I'm not the most experienced player in this area, so I just take it super slowly. Kill these flesh dogs. And this flesh dog looks like it's about to jump off the ledge, and then it doesn't. I don't know. Like, I always get... I know I've said it before in these videos, but I always get some pretty strange AI when I'm playing for YouTube. Like this. I didn't know if you could just slide every time you hit him, and he just falls. But that's not AI, that's, like, game physics, but... And I don't know why I shoot these guys down, because I don't end up going to their platform. But I do it I guess just for 130 souls each. I guess. Wasting a couple arrows. I guess that's an okay trade because wooden arrows are cheaper than 130. And right now I'm searching for like breakable walls because I know there's a lot in this area. I don't know which way I'm supposed to go, so I just end up jumping down here. This is kind of me semi-adventuring, but also trying to be as careful as possible because it would suck to die. I already went over that, but yeah, it would suck to die in general. And here's where I remember that those guys are here, so I don't react automatically. But luckily, he just kind of staggers me, and I can one-shot him with this little greatsword. I appreciate that they have really low defense, the exploder and the like, petrification mummies, because if they took 2 hits to kill, they would be some of the most annoying enemies in the game because you could assume that you one-shot them, and then they just come after you still. There's another dog, which scared me. Then I saw his little hollow friend, so I sprint back to the other side of the bridge, just because if the dog aggroes me at the same time as this guy, I don't want to be stuck fighting 2 guys at once. Little cowardly lion tactics today, but that's okay. I should just run through this area, but I didn't know the route that I needed to do. I feel like that's actually the safest way to play the gutter, and most of the game in general, actually. It's better to just like sprint through and then just defeat the bosses and use their souls to level up, than to actually like fight everything and do that. I mean, if you run away, you can get yourself stuck in some situations where you take a wrong turn, and then the enemies catch up to you, and there's like 30 of them, but I don't know if there's a situation where you could have that many. But and this dog just doesn't react at all to me shooting him. Maybe because its AI knows that it can't get me from up here, but I think it's kind of strange that it doesn't even like run around. It just takes it in the back. It's kind of strange. Oop. Now I almost get poisoned there, which I realized later, after I've run through most of the zone, that me being poisoned on this character doesn't matter that much because I have so much health. But I'm being ultra careful anyway because I just don't like using life gems and stuff like that just because I was careless and got poisoned by some of these statues. And I know I am breaking my weapon on these. They do take a decent durability hit for destroying statues, but better safe than having a non-broken weapon, I guess. I think it's strange that the Royal Greatsword has the poke greatsword animation and then the mace two-handed swings. It's kind of a strange moveset, but it's kind of nice to have weapons that attack differently because you can always surprise someone in PvP if they're not familiar with the strange moveset, especially if you're using a weapon like Sanctier's Spear, which has the movesets of, like, I think a scimitar, a halberd, a spear, and then I believe there's one more. Yeah, it also has an attack from a twin blade. So you've got 4 weapons in one, basically. Not their entire movesets, but a good chunk of them. Like, you can spin to win like a halberd, and then your rolling attack does this sweet twin blade animation if you're doing it one-handed, I think. And then two-handed, it does that, like, flipping falchion move. And I know I'm on the right track now because I saw the fog wall back there, so I'm getting a little more confident. I'm not just running when I see an enemy now. And here's this time through is the first time I've realized that some of these hollows use dark weapons. I think that's dark. It might be poison. I don't know if I ever get hit by one. And here I get a couple throwing knives, which help me out a little bit later. And there's the Wicked Eye Great Shield. I've never used it. Its effect says you get health for killing enemies, but I've never used it, so I don't know if it means you have to kill them with the Great Shield itself, or you can use it and just like while holding it, any kill you get heals you. But if it is similar to the Evil Eye ring, and you wore both of them, you might be able to just like heal yourself while you're running through. And here's another dog not responding to my arrow shots, but I'm okay if they just want to take hits and let me continue on. I use a flame butterfly here just because I couldn't see the platform below me very well, and I didn't want to jump through the cracks. Oh, I didn't know I had those poison arrows. Those could actually help out a lot later. I'll keep those in mind. There's the giant ant. I believe it's an ant. The first time through, I killed it, just kind of thinking it was bugged out. And I kind of felt bad afterwards, knowing that it's never aggressive. I don't know the point of it, though. Like, I kind of wish, if you don't kill it, those giant centipedes in Black Gulch wouldn't attack you. But that's not the case. And finally, the Royal Greatsword is about to break. So, I believe I use it for just a little longer, and then switch to the Old Knight Greatsword. Or I use it now, I'm not sure. No, I use this for a little bit. And now is when I'm like really concerned, because I know some of these ladders are better to take than the other ones, and once again I have no idea where I'm going, so I'm just kind of like wandering around poking stuff with my greatsword. So, I believe I choose to go down this one. This ladder right here. Nope. I end up going next to the one next to the bonfire. I guess I decided that since it was next to the bonfire, it was a pretty safe decision to go down. Or not. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't remember what ladder I go down. So it was the first one I assumed I went down, so pardon me. Even though this ladder ended up wrong. So I have to end up going back up after I like inspect my possible jump angles. I don't really like any of them. If I don't have to jump off of a tiny platform onto a smaller platform, I'd rather not have to. So I'm gonna climb up the ladder and just take a different approach, which I believe ended up being a good idea. I could have taken damage from fall, and then I would have wasted a life gem, and no one wants to see that. I would have laughed if the second one I took was the bonfire ladder, but it's not. And now looking at the video, I probably could have jumped to this from my last ladder's location, but even so, if I missed this jump, I would have been dead, so I would have been pretty upset with myself. Or I would have at least been able to jump here. Oh, I do get hit by one of those dark weapons. It's down here, like right there. So it is dark or resonant weapon. I'm not entirely sure what the different particle effects on the different weapons, but... And this guy was kind of strange because I couldn't hit him while he was on the ground. I know I was probably just swinging over his head, but I'm not used to that kind of interaction with people sitting down, because normally the weapons have like a curving swing, but this is just swinging that horizontal sweep in front of you, which I guess can't hit that guy with this. 20 life gems. I had no idea that was down here. I must have, like, just kind of glanced over that my first time through, but I was pretty happy when I found that, because that saves me, like, how many souls would that be? 6,000? I guess it's not that many souls, but I was pretty happy to find it regardless. Especially since I was this far away from Majula now. And I was wishing that I had normal throwing knives, because you kind of need them to break this, but I could have used iron arrows instead. I think I made a good decision by just using throwing knives, even though I missed one. I do not use another flame butterfly here. I think I just jump it. Yeah. So there's the fragrant branch of yore that we're gonna need to get to Shaded Woods, which is actually going to be a pretty scary area. In the next video, I'm gonna be running that, if I even make it there, because that room with all of the ballsack poison people gets pretty scary. But if I make it past them, I'm going to just sprint through the area with the invisible assassins and hope for the best there, because if I can get to the actual Shaded Woods area, I think it should be pretty, like, easy going from then on, because this character is really tanky, so I should be able to make it past the lion soldiers and the lion mages and stuff like that and just be fine. Now that I think about it, I don't even know if there is, like, an actual lion mage in this game. Like, you can get the lion mage set, I just don't remember seeing any of the lions casting magic. I don't know if they do. And here, I'm seeing if you can shoot the hand dudes out of the oil on the floor. So I shoot every single one of these holes, unsure if there's one in there. Now watching the video, I can see that there's a hand moving in the first one closest to me. But then I switched to fire arrows because you can just set the oil on fire and they'll die if they're in it. Like this one right here. And I just watch them burn. Some men just want to watch oil hand creepy monsters burn. And I do light every single, like, oil area on fire as I go through this. And that's where I realized I had heavy roll, which I wouldn't have, like, kept if I had known, but I didn't. So I replace my Old Knight sword with the short sword. No, with the Morning Star. I don't know at what point I switched to the short sword, but I realized that my Dragon Rider bow is about to break, so in an effort to keep it from happening, I switched to the short sword so that I can weaken that a little bit, and then I can justify using a repair powder to repair both of them back up. Yep, there it is. At risk. Because I realized that my best chance of getting through this area was using that fire arrow strategy and lighting those on fire and just hoping for the best. And here's where I realized that me being poisoned isn't a terrible thing. Because I have so much health that one poisoning isn't going to kill me, so I can just kind of, like, spread that. Do I ever come back to this? No, I don't. I think I leave that treasure chest. Oh well. Just one of those things to remember once I beat the game so I can come back and get it. I wish when you used a homeward bone, you could select a bonfire to go to. I know that would make this game just a little... It might make it a little too easy, but for runs like this, where you can only light the fires and not rest at them, I wish you could choose which bonfire you want to go to so that I don't have to worry about only touching the Jewel's bonfire like I did on the first run, which kind of potentially screwed my run just by making some returns to Majula impossible. Like after I beat Mytha. I couldn't remember her name for a second, but after I beat Mytha, it would have been really bad if I had to actually run back. Just stuff like that. Minor things. And I'm questioning whether or not I want to attack him. I try to there and then realize I'm too far away. I decided it's better to avoid them, because I know they can knock you into the pit, but if you jump by them, it's... And I've never seen the first one ever attack me. It's the second one that I worry about. So I think about killing him, but when he goes back in, I just sprint past him. And then I don't realize it for a long time, but he's trying to hit me this entire time while I'm doing this. And that's when I realize, if you look at the right side of that closer oil thing, you can see him moving around. And I didn't realize that while playing until just now. So it's pretty easy to tell where they actually are. Sometimes they're actually well hidden. But just to be safe, though, I do just shoot it over the way. See, that's one example where the arrow was pointed at the ground, and then when I like unzoomed, it just flew off into the distance for no reason. I don't know why I shot twice at that one. I think it was just a misclick, but... And at this point, this is when I actually equipped that short sword. Wait, have I had that on for a long time? I think I've had it on for a long time now. But now's when I use that repair powder. That's what I was thinking when I went into the menu. And I light all of the oil on fire. Even though I'm pretty sure all of them are dead, I'm not entirely sure. Actually, I might miss one. There was one on the way to that bonfire behind me, and I didn't light that on fire. But if nothing attacked me from out of it, I'm okay with that decision. So obviously I make it to the Rotten in this video. If you're watching this far, I don't die to poison on my way there or stand in one of those fire pits too long, so. And bear with me for this fight. It is one of the worst boss fights I've ever had in my life. So, yeah, bear with me. The first time I ever fought Rotten was on the PS3 version, and he didn't hit me a single time. But that is not the case tonight. And I equipped the Night Gauntlets just to give myself a little more tankiness. Wish me luck, is what I was saying there. And I switched that to get myself more souls. Oh man, after watching, I just realized I equipped the wrong Silver Covetous Serpent Ring. Oh well, I don't know what percentage I lost on the Rotten, but that's okay. I was super nervous, so I wasn't exactly 100% in the game at that point, so. And while we're fighting the Rotten, I don't know if I've discussed it before in one of my videos, but if anyone's like a sign that this place is pretty much linked to Lordran, besides all of the Lord Souls inside of the Four Great Lords, I think the Rotten is one of them that is pretty significant when you're trying to connect them. I don't think he's Nito. I think he might be Pinwheel. Because Pinwheel has a bunch of, like, I think he's the culmination of 3 different corpses. And the Rotten could just be like 1,000 years later, Pinwheel, after he just like fuses so many more bodies to him. And like every time one rots, he just like adds another. And as you can see, I almost died in the fire right there. I wasn't really paying attention when I was backing up because I was so startled from him grabbing me. I should be using another life gem. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing right now. Maybe I'm just... Okay, I just let that Radiant Life Gem do its work. And I spend a lot of this fight trying to break off his arms, because he keeps grabbing me, so if I can break his arms, I can... I could maybe get rid of that animation. And I was super scared there, because if he had dropped me into the fire, I would have been dead instantly. But luckily he vomits, which is one of the easier attacks to avoid, and it has a large recovery time, so I can use another Radiant Life Gem. But yes, Pinwheel. Pinwheel also had a bunch of statues, each with a different mask on them in the first game. One for the mask of the father, one for the mask of the mother. And then the mask of the mother had the mask of the child on its stomach. Whereas in this, all of these statues don't really look like the masks, but if you had to like assign them to one of them, I'd say it'd be the mother. And that was the main reason I first started thinking of. Okay, so that right there, my game minimized, and that really pissed me off because I could have died. He could have grabbed me and into a fire or something like that while I was minimized, but he didn't. He just smacked me with his cleaver. And luckily we have enough health that it didn't hurt too much. But at the beginning of the boss fight, in that cutscene, you see the Rotten picks up a statue and tries to put it back together and gets super mad that it was broken. So I can't think of anyone else that would care about statues like that besides a character like Pinwheel. So if he's not Pinwheel himself, he is a lot like him in a lot of regards, with the being a bunch of corpses put together and actually caring about the statues that resemble them. And yeah, that's a third grab that lands on me. And he's not even halfway dead, and I've used a lot of life gems, mostly Radiant Life Gems, so it's kind of pretty bad play on my part this time. And I pop a normal life gem just to speed up the process so I can get a little more brave. See, I could be doing a lot more damage if I wasn't aiming for his arms. I could have just, like, hit his torso, like, 4 times. But instead I went for his arm and didn't hit him at all a couple swings ago. And I get hit by this, which is disappointing, because the AoE attacks in this game are some of the easiest ones to dodge because they have such, like, a huge, like, tell before they go off. And I wish he would get hurt by his own fire, but that might just be a hint that he's, like, resistant to fire damage. Maybe that's why it's in there. And here's where I actually start dodging low. I eat my words immediately after doing... after commenting like that, so... Once again, I don't hit him because I'm aiming for his arm. I don't think I ever learned my lesson in this fight. I think I just keep doing that. I think I wanted that cool cinematic effect of, like, him losing an arm mid-fight, but I didn't end up getting that. There's other people who think that hollow on his right shoulder up there, or his left, our right, is the Rotten. Because he seems to be kind of guiding him. Which could be, I mean, it's a pretty good theory. It's the only hollow on him that seems like paying attention. I'm not sure. Watching it after the fact... Oh, he's dead. Okay. Watching it after the fact, it looked like that hollow was actually moving zombies. So that's our third Great Lord Soul down. And at this point, I'm super relieved because the Black Gulch and the Gutter are 2 of my least favorite areas in the game. So, we're through that. And I get to go back to Majula, and I'll just level up, and that's the end of this video. Sublime Bone Dust. I was kind of hoping for a better item out of the chest after the Rotten, but I had forgotten that it was Sublime Bone Dust. I'll be thankful to have them after I beat the game, but until then they just kind of sit in my inventory doing nothing. Also, it would be terrible if you couldn't use primal bonfires either. So, I don't know what I was in my inventory for there. Maybe I was checking to see if I had any salt that I wanted to use. I missed one. Oh, I was checking to see if I had that fragrant branch of yore that I got earlier in the video. I was kind of worried that I had left it or something like that. And I officially have the most vitality I've ever had on a character in Dark Souls. Or Vigor, I guess it's called in this. But thanks for watching. If I entertained you, please like and subscribe. Have a nice night.